When we first posted the question, is Captain Picard actually a lonely character on Reddit? We expected a good discussion, but the actual depth and passion behind the responses were incredible. It seems that despite Picard's commanding presence and sense of duty, many of us recognize a deep underlying isolation in his character. So let's talk about it. One of the most common arguments in the discussion was that Picard's loneliness stems from the nature of command itself. As a captain, he is required to maintain certain levels of distance from his crew. Reddit user The Real Biz pointed out that being in charge means giving up workplace camaraderie, and that resonates. On a starship where there is no escape from your workplace, that effect is amplified tenfold. But as FRN noted, it wasn't just his rank, it was a personal choice too. Other captains, such as Sisko and even Kirk, maintained deep friendships or relationships despite their rank. Picard, however, seemed to allow the professional barriers to seep into his personal life as well. Now, there's a cost to command, I guess. This idea ties into another great point made by Big Eyes, who described Picard as the guy who works with people for 20 years and then retires, and you never hear from him again. He's not actively pushing people away, but he's also not reaching out either. This sentiment was echoed by a false vacuum, who noted that Picard likely assumes reaching out would burden others, so he simply does not. This brings us to Tapestry and the Inner Light. 2 episodes that suggest that Picard does, at some level, yearn for a different life. In Tapestry, Q forces him to confront a version of himself that avoided risks, and the result is an unfulfilling life. However, the Inner Light gives him a glimpse of an alternate reality where he lives a quiet, fulfilling family life. The difference? One was forced on him, while the other was lived organically. It seems that Picard deep down understands that he has sacrificed, even if he doesn't regret it. One of the more compelling takes came from Forethought, who suggested that while we never actually see it, Picard does likely maintain a network of friends and colleagues off-screen. This was countered by Phileas T. Explodio, who pointed out that Picard, the series Picard, seems to confirm that he doesn't actually keep in touch with many people. Even Beverly, arguably the closest thing he has to a lifelong friend, goes 2 decades without speaking to him. His house staff even tells him outright that he needs to get out more. This all suggests that Picard isn't alone because of Starfleet's demand. He's alone because of his own emotional barriers. Even his relationships with the Enterprise's crew, as Tom Birkenstock put it, was something he only truly embraced in the final episode of TND when he finally sat down for a game of poker with them. A major counterpoint, however, came from people like Baby Bam, who argue that loneliness and regret aren't the same thing. Picard may have wondered about what could have been, but that doesn't necessarily mean he was unhappy. After all, he had chances for romance, Vosh, Nella Darren, and even Beverly Crusher. But he consistently chose duty, and that was the life he wanted. Yet Lord Lame 1915, great name by the way, highlighted a key moment from Picard Season 3, where Jean-Luc reflects on how his different choices might have been made had he known about his son. This suggests that while he was satisfied with his life, he was not immune to regret. So, is Captain Picard actually a lonely character? Based on this incredible discussion, the answer seems to be yes, but by design. He is someone who chose duty, and while he has moments of longing, he does not wallow in regret. He has acquaintances, but few true friends. He is respected, but rarely emotionally vulnerable. And perhaps most significantly, by the end of TNG and Picard, he starts to change. The last scene of All Good Things show him finally embracing his crew as more than just colleagues. The final scene in Picard Season 3 shows him initiating a poker game himself, completely at ease. Maybe the real answer isn't whether Picard is lonely, but whether he remains lonely. And by the end of his story, I think he finally has found his way home. Well, that's it for me. See you next time.